Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening. I am your girl, Taria. Thank you for coming to watch another YouTube video for What Else Is Going On podcast. Y'all see, I'm not used to doing it this late, so my brain literally glitched for a minute. But there's some things that I wanted to come and talk to y'all about. I'm sure y'all can guess at least what one of those things is. And I've been working today. Then I went to the gym. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was only on the stepper for like 15 minutes before I left. Some days you're just not feeling it, and I feel like I should listen to my body because I've been going, but I just today just couldn't do it. But I miss y'all. First of all, thank y'all so much for showing up and showing out with the Jamie episode for the What Else Is Going On podcast. You can watch it here, as you guys know. Please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share it. And you can also go to wherever it is you listen to your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, type in What Else Is Going On. You'll see me. And then you can also follow the podcast there. I had such a great time with Jamie, and y'all know she's going to be back. This is the second time she's been on. I could have talked to her for hours. So we had a good time. But thank y'all for being so supportive. Anyone who found me because of Jamie, thank y'all so much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. Let's get into the things, y'all. First up, let's talk about Peter Thomas. I'm sure you all have heard. Peter Thomas admits to not paying his business taxes. I have to be accountable. Now, mind you, okay, so this is an update. Peter Thomas is ready to right his wrongs. The Real Housewives of Atlanta alum 63 has finally admitted to not paying his business taxes. This is according to the Jasmine brand. And y'all, I hope my glasses aren't casting a blare nor a glare, Lord Jesus, a glare nor my forehead. But I don't wear my contacts at night. I wear them all day, but at night I wear my glasses. And this is almost bedtime. So let's get into it. In a video posted on social media yesterday, which was Monday, the 24th, Peter Thomas first apologized to his mother, his late father, and his family and friends. He added, "I've did some wrong that I have to make right. I have to stand up. I have to be accountable. I have to be responsible, and I have to pay my debt." He referenced the IRS case against him, which began in early 2022, and said his tax owings go back about a decade. "From one struggling business to the next, I failed to pay my withholding taxes on time. And at some point, when the business wasn't doing well, failed to pay at all. It's something that I thought I could work out, catch up with, make whole, but then the hole got deeper for me." Peter Thomas, who was recently hit with a 9 million judgment for unpaid rent for his Miami restaurant, continued, which we did talk about that earlier this year. "I deeply, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, I deeply regret not making the IRS withholding taxes a priority in my life, with no excuses because there is none. It's the law, and I'm finding out a lot about the law lately." He sent a warning to business owners and told them to be sure they have enough money to pay their employees after taking care of other financial company responsibilities like utilities and rent. He added, "Make sure you can cover those withholding taxes. Make sure on the 20th of every month you pay those revenue taxes. When those things add up, Uncle Sam is your partner. They're not getting their piece. It keeps on adding up. It's going to come and it's going to bite you." Part of me, I mean, listen, he owed it. Um, he knows it. But sometimes the human part of you still feels bad. And I don't know if bad is the right word, but just like, dang, like this really sucks. Um, and now there's also an update. Hold on. I want to tell you all the right stuff. Let me make sure. There's an update. He faces 5 years in prison for not paying the taxes on the club he owned. So he faces 5 years in prison, a $250,000 fine, and up to 3 years of supervised release over his issues with the IRS. What's interesting is that he apologized to the IRS, to his family, to everyone for not paying his taxes. And today, I just saw literally on my Google News that the IRS issued an apology to some billionaire. And it said, like, for the first time ever, IRS issues an apology. So they want their apology to be taken seriously. Maybe they will take Peter's apology and cut him a little break. Who knows? But child, we know when you owe them, they want their money. So we'll see what happens to Peter. I really hope that he gets his debts paid under control. I'm sure he'll be able to breathe easier. He was under all that stress, but that skin wasn't cracking. Peter was still holding it together. My grandma used to say 30 and holding. He was still holding on, but I do wish the best for Peter and hope that he gets his stuff together. Moving on, y'all. Monica Garcia. You know, we talk about Monica over here. We just talked about Monica a couple of days ago when she was talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And she said she wished her castmates well in hell. She said Mary was the only one that communicates with her. Mary actually calls her, checks on her, and makes sure that she's good. Now she says she thinks Heather Gay is blocking her from the Salt Lake City return. This is according to Reality T. Blame it all on Heather. Production is underway for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5. And at this point, we all know that Monica Garcia won't be a part of it. She definitely wanted to come back, but Bravo had other plans. Now she has a theory about why she's not returning. She's blaming it all on Heather Gay. After confirming her exit from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Monica made it very clear that she disagreed with Bravo's decision. Since there was absolutely no resolution during the season 4 reunion, she wanted to find some closure with the ladies. Now, in a new interview with 2Fab, she specifically called out Heather for preventing that from happening. For once, something is happening in Salt Lake City that we can't blame on Jen Shah. I didn't say that. This is what Reality T said. Of course, Heather was the one that Nancy drewed her way through the RHOSLC season 4 finale. She uncovered that Monica was one of the masterminds behind Reality Von Teese, causing her status as a housewife to come crashing down. According to Monica, Heather is still holding on to that anger. I think if Heather Gay wasn't there, that I would have a chance. I think that she is, the number one person who doesn't want me on the cast. Although Monica confessed that she hasn't spoken to anyone from the cast, she felt like Heather specifically couldn't take the pressure. So as long as Heather is in the cast, Monica doesn't see any point of entry back to the show. However, if there were to be a cast shakeup, Monica wants to be the first person on Bravo's list. I think that's what we need. I think the fans are so invested in this. They're so invested in this journey that is Reality Von Teese. We know who she is. She's you. And I think that Heather needs to put her big girl panties on and realize this is what we need to, this is what we do. And this is what the fans deserve, she explained. They deserve to see that bridge and how this all works. Get the F over yourself and let's give the fans what they want. She just needs to pull it together. So listen, I have said before, I understand both sides. I understand why the ladies don't want to film with Monica, don't trust Monica. Whether we agree or not, I understand. It feels like someone came in, infiltrated, got information, used it against one of your castmates. That means they could probably use it against you because maybe you may say something shady, do something, let your guard down a little bit, which I mean, because we're over the point of them all supposedly being friends, right? So of course they come in with guards up, some of them. Maybe you think she'll end up using it against you. So I get all that. I understand it. I also understand Monica saying, look, I did it to go after Jen Shah, and this is what it is. I just really want to be a part of this cast and build new relationships. I get all of that. It doesn't matter to me either way if she comes back or if she doesn't. I'm going to dip my toe in and see what Salt Lake City is giving. However, there is a part of me that gets what she's saying to Heather. Then there's another part of me that's like, who are you to tell me to get over myself? If I don't trust you and I don't want to be around you, I'm allowed to feel that way. Now, someone say feel that way, but for the entertainment value or for the betterment of the franchise, move along. I understand all of that, but part of me is like, Monica, who are you to tell somebody to get over yourself? This is what we do. This is what the fans want to see. Maybe not everybody feels that way. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all want Monica come back? And do you agree that Heather is the gatekeeper and potentially blocking all this? Y'all think Heather is running the girls? I don't, got the ladies in check. I don't know if I necessarily think that, but maybe. Who knows? Y'all let me know. Moving on. Last thing I want to talk to y'all about, Kenya Moore. This is like a heavy one. So what I'm going to read, so let me read. TMZ initially said that sources close to production said that Kenya was not going to be back for the rest of the season, and she was she may be looking into her legal, not examples, oh my gosh, options, looking into her legal options, right? Let me pull that. I thought I had that one pulled up. So she's weighing legal options. So the first one I saw was from TMZ. Kenya Moore is officially putting down her peach for this next season, at least, because she ain't coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this could possibly turn ugly. Again, this was from TMZ. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Kenya will not return as a cast member for the rest of production for the new season, season 16, after she was sidelined indefinitely for allegedly unveiling sexually explicit posters of newcomer Brittany Eady seemingly performing oral sex. Now we're told Kenya has not been fired from RHOA. Instead, we're told both sides have agreed she's just going to take a break from the show for now. Our sources say Bravo was keeping the door open for a future return. However, we're also told Kenya is considering legal options at this point because she's not happy with how this mess unfolded. If you listen to me and Jamie's episode, I said I thought that's why the suspension was taking so long. Jen, Aiden, and Danielle Cabral from Jersey got into that fight, were suspended for a week while the investigation was going on, got back to filming. To me, it's been almost, 3 weeks with Kenya? This suspension, they have the footage. The cameramen were there. It takes you that long to look at the footage and determine what happened. I said I felt like they were trying to come up with something that worked for both of them to kind of like separate her from the franchise. Because I feel like they wanted to make this Kenya's last season. I have said I felt like they were trying to phase her out. So what I just read was from TMZ earlier. Again, they said that both sides agreed she's just going to take a break for now and that Bravo was keeping the door open. Let's go to Bryce Sanders. Now, we know Bryce Sanders. I think he works for, does Bryce Sanders work for E? I think, let me see. Chief Real Housewives correspondent at ET Now. Okay. He posted an hour ago on Twitter, yes, the Kenya exit is real and it was her choice. It's unclear how, if at all, this will be addressed on hashtag RHOA when season 16 airs. They could just edit her out around this. And as for reports the door is open for a future return, I've been told that's not necessarily true. Something else he said, Danielle and Jen were both suspended after that incident and only cleared to return after an investigation. Same as Kenya's case. She opted out. It all comes down to a code of conduct clause in their contracts, which are under a microscope in the current climate of lawsuits. All right. Child, I thought I saw something about Mary not coming back. Child, that was from 2022. I was looking at Bryce's tweet and I was like, what? But so, yeah. So that's what Bryce said. She's not coming back. And he doesn't, again, wait. The reports that the door is open for a future return, he's been told are not necessarily true. So that's what Bryce is saying. She's not coming back. It was her decision. I wonder what they offered. Did they offer to have her come in as a reduced role or a friend of? And she was like, nope, I don't like those options. So I'm just going to walk away. And he's saying again, he was told there is no, it's not necessarily true that there is an option for the door to be open in the future. Let's get into Love B. Scott. Now, we know that B. Scott and Kenya were very good friends at one point. I say one point because I don't know if they are now or not. And let's remember, let's go back to the Bolo season. Remember when Page Six and all those outlets were reporting exclusive about Portia and Bolo allegedly? Love B. Scott was the one that broke that story because I've said it before and I'll say it again. They had an article titled Peaches Cobbled. I'll never forget that title. Love B. Scott broke that story. I believe the source was from Kenya. And I say that because remember also on the show when Kenya Moore, were they at the pumpkin patch or they were somewhere? And Kenya was like, she wouldn't have told Page Six or whatever. Now, if it was a B. Scott, and she kind of laughed. And B. Scott has made the statement before on their podcast some years back. Kenya is not my only source. I have production. I have this. So it was very clear, right? So B. Scott, I believe, definitely gets the stuff, gets down to the stuff. Michelle Atielian had also said that that Kenya wasn't coming back either. She called that, I think, last week. So B. Scott's headline today says exclusive, Kenya Moore fired in all caps. Kenya Moore exclusive, Kenya Moore fired from Real Housewives of Atlanta season in jeopardy. Again, this is according to B. Scott. Kenya Moore has been fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. According to our sources, not only has Kenya been barred from filming the rest of the season, but the network is figuring out how to cut her from what's been filmed already so that she doesn't appear in season 16 at all. Contrary to other reports, sources exclusively tell us that there have been no talks between Kenya and the network about her returning for future seasons or other projects, and there won't be. Her firing comes after she allegedly posted sexually explicit images of newbie Brittany Eady performing oral sex at her hair salon opening event. We're told the moment was so shocking that the entire cast walked out as it unfolded, except for Drew Sidora. With Kenya out, the network's plan for her and Portia to anchor the newbies have been completely ruined. The door is open for other former cast members like Sheree Whitfield and Phaedra Parks to return full time to help finish out the season, but that hasn't been discussed at this time. Phaedra's name, however, has been floated a few times about joining the girls on their upcoming international trip. Cynthia Bailey, who's currently filming as a friend, is also being considered for a promotion, but it's unclear if she'll take it. I think she'll take it if offered. The only thing that's certain at this point is that Miss Moore is out and won't be back. Then they had the update. Kenya took to social media to thank her fans for their support. Hashtag Team Twirl Forever. You are the best fans anyone could ever ask for, and I love you all so very much, always and forever, with a purple heart. I'll say this, when I saw that, I got kind of sentimental a little bit. Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kenya has not always been my favorite. She's never been my favorite, but there were times when I just didn't care for her. But as the years went on, she kind of grew on me. And I like to joke, I would be ready to put on my dancing shoes and twirl, right? And when I read her statement on Twitter, it of to me, I said, it's a wrap. To me, it made it official with her statement. Um, when I read it, I put myself in her shoes. And although I'm saying if she did this, but it's obvious something was done. If she did this, it was her actions that led her to this, whether it was in retaliation or not. There's consequences to actions, and sometimes they're not the consequences we choose. But I still put myself in her shoes and how much this show meant to her. And again, I know she brought it on herself, but I feel like she felt like she never possibly thought it would come to this, right? She thought she was creating a moment for TV. I just want to know what Brittany said that got so under her skin, that she let that new girl get so under her skin that she did this. Like, wow. But I know they said, Brittany said, I have a pow pow for girls like you, but people have come out and said that's not true. Anyway, I know she never thought it would have come to this. I wouldn't have either. I would have just said, oh, here we go. And, some more shenanigans from Kenya. Low, yes. But I wouldn't have thought that Bravo would have fired her. And I'm not saying I think they should or shouldn't. I'm saying if I had to think, oh, do you think Bravo would fire them? My answer would initially be no. Right. But in my heart, it's just, I feel like it's the end of an era, because no matter what you think of Kenya, whether you liked her, loathed her, loved her, was on Team Twirl, was the captain of Team Twirl, the co-captain, Kenya is a part of Atlanta, the Real Housewives of Atlanta royalty and legacy. She did help build that franchise. Nene laid the groundwork. She did a lot of building, but Kenya came in too. If Nene built the house, Kenya definitely put on a sizable addition to the house. She's a part of Atlanta that can't be erased. And it really, like I said, reading her statement, because we know Kenya is going to fight. She's used to having to fight, right? So she's going to come out swinging and fight. And that text to me, like she texted me, that tweet to me just read as final. And like, basically I'm done. And so it feels like the end of an era. So Hey, just because she did it, I'm gonna say she did it because I think she did it. Um, it doesn't mean there aren't prayers up for her, for Brooklyn, for her family, for everything. It is a sad way to go out for your housewife's legacy, because indeed, Kenya has been an integral part of Atlanta. But I guess a new wave is coming in. So um, shout out to Kenya, beautiful Brooklyn. I hope that she's going to be all right. I hope that her salon flourishes. I have no doubt we probably have not seen the last of her. I don't know if it's going to be on Bravo. Who knows? Maybe her and Nene will start a podcast. Who knows? Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all let me know what y'all think. How are y'all feeling about Kenya? Forget even about season 17. How are y'all feeling about Kenya not being a part of Sweet 16? Are you going to watch? What do y'all think about Monica and her telling Heather she need to get the F over herself, honey, because the people want to see her back on the screen and see resolution. What do y'all think about Peter? Y'all, Peter might be going to jail. I feel like he may not get time, or maybe a year or like something like that. I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all think he's going to get time and really do jail? Who knows? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I love y'all so much. And again, I thank y'all for watching, for supporting. And before I go out, I do want to say something. I should have had it pulled up because I said I was going to. I want to shout out to Mrs. Wilson. You know who you are. So for the last couple of days, not to get y'all too personal into my business, but it seemed like stuff has just been happening. Like boom, this happened, then boom, this happened, then boom, this happened. And it was like, what is going on? Like life is like kind of throwing you for a loop, like kind of. So I was feeling kind of like down in my own head. And I have people, mainly my husband, Corey. For those of y'all that don't know, my husband's name is Corey. And so I don't have to keep saying husband, Corey, right? Yeah, I could tell him, share with him. He always makes it feel better. But sometimes you don't always want to share, whether it's your friends, your spouse, whatever, because you don't want to either bring down the mood or, you don't even want to feel that way. So speaking it out loud, you're like, I don't even want to talk about that. So all this stuff has been happening. So today I got up, posted my episode with Jamie, and y'all, those of y'all that don't know, that are new, welcome. I do gig work, ride share. So I pick the people up in their cars and do the things. And it's a lot for me to be in my head because I don't normally talk to passengers, and I'll be saying that I want them to say, hi, how are you? And that's it, right? Don't go nowhere, Miss Wilson. Don't turn it off if you're watching. But the people that have been here know I feel very strongly about that. But so I was literally thinking, you've been podcasting for 8 years. Yes, this arena is different. You've been doing this one for 4 years because I started in 2016, and I've said this before. And you feel like you should be further, you should be doing more, what have you. I just started really posting YouTube content in October. I started out just posting my podcast episodes, and then I've started taking to talking about everything because it's what I've wanted to do anyway for so long, right? So, but I was thinking about it today, and I had this thought a couple of weeks ago, but today it was really like, okay, you need to buckle down. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this for the next 3 months. You need to be on it with this, and not necessarily YouTube, but some other stuff. And I started thinking, okay, what do you have to offer in terms of life if YouTube, podcasting, all that isn't going out? Are you going to continue to do rideshare? Like, what else do you want to do? And I really started thinking, like, okay, you need to start figuring out, not if you're going to give it up, but if it's going to become a hobby and not necessarily what you want to pour your energy into, even though it's something that you absolutely love doing and would do it all day if you could. So I was thinking that today, not from a sadness standpoint, because you know how sometimes you can get in your head and you're like, things aren't working out, from a realistic standpoint. And I'm a woman of faith, so my faith is normally pretty high, right? So I was thinking about that from that term, but I was thinking about it from a realistic term. And I didn't pray. I just had a conversation with God in my head, like, this is what's happening. This is, what's going on, and this is how I'm feeling. So today I was listening to Funky Dineva's show from last night. I had it on in the car. I think after doing this for so long, I have a pretty good read on people. So I literally saw my passenger get ready to come in, and I was like, might would like this. I promise y'all, I just felt like that. So I didn't turn it. Cause y'all know funky could be, and just to be picking up strangers, getting in your car, they could get offended, you know? So, but I literally thought, she, oh, she'll probably like this. She gets in, hi, good morning. And she says, are you listening to Funky? And I said, yeah. And at first I was like, oh man, we're getting ready to have a conversation. And because I was feeling how I was feeling already, I love content, consuming it, but I also love creating it. So sometimes when you're listening, you're thinking about how you're not creating, right? So I said, yeah. And she said, is that last night's show? And I was like, yeah. And she smelled really good too. I meant to tell her that she smelled really, really good. But I didn't. And I said, yeah. You know, she said, is this last night's show? I said, yeah. Where I was taking her wasn't far, maybe a 10-minute ride, if that. And it was in my neighborhood. And so, not in my neighborhood, but in the area, say. And we're listening to Funky's the show last night. And as we pull up, she said, it's for her to get out. She goes to get out. And she was getting out. And then she stopped and said, who else do you listen to? And I was thinking, oh man, what if I get another ride? But I don't want to be rude. But like, and again, because I was already feeling a type of way, because I'm listening to content and I don't feel like I'm creating what I should be right now. And I just had a conversation with the Lord earlier today. Like, so I hesitated for a minute because I was like, do I get into the conversation? And then I said, Jamie, that's me. I love her. And she goes, oh, she loves Jamie too. And normally I wouldn't have said anything, but I said to her, oh, Jamie was just on my YouTube channel yesterday. And she was like, wait, you have a YouTube? And like, basically like you didn't say anything. And I was like, yeah, Jamie was on it. I love her. And she goes, do you listen to Bondi? And I said, I love Bondi. Bondi's been on the podcast. I said, it's YouTube and a podcast. I said, and Niecy Dixon. She was like, oh my God, I love Niecy. She just had a baby. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, we listen to the same people. And she said, you have a podcast. I'm not going to get into what else she said that blessed my soul, but I'm going to say what she said. And I told her afterwards, you don't know what a blessing you have been today, because what she said let me know that the Lord was listening to our conversation today. And he was letting me know, I heard you. Keep doing what I told you to do. And so, Mrs. Wilson, I want to thank you for your words today. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for not getting out of that car and saying, who else do you listen to? And by the way, that perfume smelled good. What I'm gonna need you to drop that in the comment, DM me something at WEIGO Podcast on Instagram. What was that you was wearing? Because it smells really good. But so I say all that to say, I hope that somebody else is as encouraged as I was today, because it was just another sign to me that God is really listening. So you know how we get, once we get like a little something. So I said, all right, Lord, you can send one more confirming word and some action after that. Don't let nobody else come with a word that I need. Let them come with, oh, and let's do this, and this, or an opportunity to come right after. But seriously, thank you so much, Mrs. Wilson. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. You were definitely a blessing to me today, and all of y'all that have supported, whether you're new, been here since the beginning, came somewhere in the middle, came over from a different content creator. I thank you. I don't take your support or your views for granted. All right, y'all. I will be back tomorrow. I'm about to eat my hot dog. My good smelling hot dog. Watch some Love Island and go to bed. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. See ya.